Okay, so today we're doing everybody's favorite topic, and that is word problems. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this down here. I'm going to ask you to pause the video and copy these into your notebook. Okay, now I'm going to slide up and give you the other two. I ask you again to pause the video and copy the rest of this into your notebook. Okay, so what I've given you there is a list of words that whenever you're trying to solve word problems, if you know these some terms, it'll be helpful to you to figure out what you're doing. Solving word problems is kind of like learning another language. You're taking a bunch of words and you're translating it into mathematical expressions. Okay? If you look at these terms, I'll just run down through them real quick. These are not all of the terms that exist, but these are a comprehensive list of the most common ones you'll see. For addition, you'll see things like increased by, more than, combined, together, total of, sum, plus, or added to. So any one of those terms means addition. For subtraction, you'll see decreased by, minus, less, difference between or difference of, less than or fewer than. For multiplication, you can have of, times, multiplied by, product of, increased by a factor of. Twice means multiply by 2. Squared means to take to the second power. Cubed means exponent of 3. Another one you might see on there, which isn't on this here, is per. Per is another common one. So thinking about per, if you make $5 per hour, if you want to figure out how much money you make, you take 5 times the number of hours you work. All right. For division, they've got per there. I would disagree with that. Per should be more of a multiply. So we'll take that out. For division, though, they've got out of, ratio of, quotient is a big one. Percent means divide by 100. Half means divide by 2. And quotient of. And then the final one for equals, you've got is, are, was, were, will be, gives, yields, and sold for. All right. So those are just some common terms. It's good for you to copy them down. It's good for you to have them in your notebook. It's good for you to have it so that when you reference word problems, you know when to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. The only other thing I'll talk about in this video are the steps for solving an equation. This is a list of the things that I think about when trying to solve a word problem. So in this case, the first thing I do is I ask myself, what is the thing that I don't know? What are they asking me to find? What is my unknown? Whatever that is, we're going to define it. We're going to let that be the variable X, A, B, C, whatever letter you're comfortable with, whatever letter you like best for that problem, we're going to define a variable to be that. All right? The second step, what does everything equal? Find a total. After all that's said and done in the problem, what is the final total? What is the final tally of whatever is there? Notice in this step, this doesn't mean that the biggest number in the problem is the total. That's a common mistake. The total after everything is said and done is the sort of the last number they typically give you in a problem. So don't make the mistake of thinking that total means the biggest. It's not. Total means what does everything equal? Well, when the problem is done, what is everything going to be equal to after everything happens in the problem? All right. Once I have an equal to something, that allows me to set up an equation where I know what the units are for each of my terms. And we'll see this when we do some examples in the next video. But that's useful because once you have the units, then writing the left side of the equation is going to be a lot easier. So that's the next step, is to write the other side of the equation using the keywords as a guide. And I gave you the keywords on the front of this paper. So that's the key to getting an equation. And then step 4, you're just going to take that equation and solve that equation for the variable that you defined. Okay? If you have any questions, bring them to class.